Hey, Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. My name is Heather Mays. I'm an intuitive artist, author, animal communicator, energy healer for pets and people, psychic channeler, medium, and I'm on a mission to empower and embolden others to connect with their divine radiant light. One of the ways I love doing that is with a monthly energy forecast, and I've been doing these, I think, since 2022. So we are several months and a couple of years into these now, and I really love doing them. And thank you for all the positive feedback that many of you have shared. It helps to know that the messages are resonating with you and that you find the information helpful. So for the month of October, I always feel shocked that we are on the next month, but it does feel like August and September, at least for me. Let me know your perspective in the comments. They have really flown by. It feels like this compressed, kind of like when you put something on a speed ramp, or you really compress or you fast forward your movie. It feels like things just really got going at a faster pace in the last few weeks. And as we are going through October, November, and then December of 2024, we're going to continue to see a quickening and a hastening of the pace. I also think we will see some spikes in how it feels for us as we're navigating time. If you're here watching this content, you probably have the general awareness that time is a construct of our third dimensional existence. So we experience it differently, and we're starting to have almost a deeper awareness of how it is not absolutely linear, because we are able to access fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional energies more readily as a collective, as a group. So we're starting to see through the fabric of existence. That sounds dramatic, doesn't it? So as I go through October, the theme that we wanted to bring through, and by we, I mean me and my team of guides, the word for the month of October is conviction. So we can take that a couple of different ways, but the primary way it was coming through for us was guidance to really look at our passions. Pull them out, dust them off. If you've put them on a shelf, what is it that you are really passionate about? What do you have a strong belief in? And then looking at that belief and saying, okay, I know this is something I feel conviction for. I'm absolutely passionate about believing this, but why? Did I inherit this belief? Did I kind of absorb this belief from the community that I'm in? Is this my belief because I feel like I might be marginalized if it's not my belief? Really having the integrity of your convictions. And you may find as you go through this that it's kind of like almost sorting through clothes from one season to the next. You may find that there are some of those convictions that you've held for a very long time that don't fit anymore, that just don't make sense. And that's okay. This is the time to release those, to put them to bed, so to speak, if they no longer serve you. If they do serve you and they still light you up, and there's still things that you're very passionate about believing and working into your life in a way that allows you to use them as a North Star, use them as points of action for yourself, and informing decisions that you make is the way I want to say it, then that's great. But this is the time to kind of lay all the cards out on the table and say, what can I carry forward with me? And what is it time to let go? October is very much a period of turning a corner, making a change, in leaving old things that no longer fit us behind. And part of that is we have a solar eclipse coming up. I'm not a huge astrology person, but it's interesting when I pull the messages through, I also kind of then just feel into the astrological elements as well. And everything is aligning, pun intended for astrology, about change. And those who do know astrology, leave it in the comments if you can go a little deeper than I am. But we have had Pluto in Capricorn, and these are the last few weeks that Pluto is going to be in Capricorn for our lifetimes. And so it is really a time for us to release the old with faith and move forward. And so I think the month begins with us feeling a little bit maybe stuck or stagnant in some things, but it's because that energy is kind of prompting us almost like a little speed bump to say, hey, take a minute, take a pause, take a breath. What is it that no longer serves you as you go forward? And I think the team has some interesting messages in looking at the word conviction in a few different ways, as they do with vocabulary. So I will leave that piece to them, but I'm looking at some of my notes that I took too. And really just looking at the death, thinking of, because for those who don't know, Pluto represents death and rebirth. So the stories that we've told ourselves that we can let go of, the things like our convictions that we've believed in that we can let go of. And this whole cycle is looking back to starting in 2008. So if things start to randomly come up for you that are tied back to that period of time, think about that for yourself. Is that maybe a door that I need to close that I had opened in 2008? Or are you seeing almost ripples or echoes of themes in your life that started in 2008? And do you feel like you have resolution on them? Or do you feel that you've moved the needle forward? So let the team come through with some of the channeled messages for the month, and I'll be back at the end to look at the art together and to wrap it all up. Enjoy. Hello, bright and beautiful beings. We are so honored and pleased to be with you in this time period. We would like to share with you a forecast, an inner knowing, a projection for the energetic landscape of your month of October 2024. As the channel has mentioned, it is a time of cleaning house in some ways, of looking for things that no longer serve you, no longer fit you, that you no longer feel would be an authentic representation of who you are. And very specifically, we are choosing to focus on the theme of conviction. What is it that you have conviction about? Many of you are very passionate about a number of topics. Examine that passion for yourself and see, is it truly my passion, or am I riding the crest of a wave that someone else started? And if you are, have no judgment in that. Many of you get caught up in the enthusiasm of topics, and it can be very enlightening and empowering to share convictions with others. But as we come to the crossroads between 2024 and 2025 and forward, authenticity is the absolute key and the cornerstone to all that you do. So in this time, if you are looking for the things that you passionately believe in, if they do not feel in alignment with you, this is the time to say goodbye to them and to leave them behind. And with that, to leave that version of you behind, for many of you are stepping into larger, more expanded versions of yourselves. And to do that, you do need to close the door and shut the window and turn the corner, all of the metaphors, on leaving things that no longer serve you behind. For many of you, beliefs are the toughest nut to crack, so to speak, because they feel very much a part of your identity. If I do not have this belief, I do not know who I am. If I cannot vocalize this particular conviction, what do I even stand for? Who am I? And we say, this is a fun and beautiful place for you to be in, for it is a place of discovery. It is a place of inspiration. Many of you have come into the awareness of new topics, new arrangements of existing topics, new ways in which to see the world, new perspectives in which you can view the landscape that you walk upon. Enjoy that. Enjoy that time of creativity, of taking all that you are and all that you desire to be and matching it up with a conviction, a belief, and having the deep compassion and awareness and forgiveness that comes with leaving old beliefs behind. We would like to play on the word conviction a bit as well and say many of you are imprisoned by your convictions. You have made yourselves a convict in the prison of your beliefs. So examine that for yourself. Which of your convictions feel heavy? Which feel dense? Which feel unattainable, or that they cannot be pursued, or that perhaps they can be pursued, but not by you. And that is okay. That does not mean that you have dropped the proverbial ball or that you have done anything wrong. It may be that it is now someone else's turn to be in alignment with that particular conviction. So do not allow yourselves to be imprisoned. Do not allow yourselves to be restricted and restrained and constrained by things that no longer serve you. Step outside of that and understand that you have the ability to exit one box and step out of it into a new definition of self. Have the courage that comes with that. Have the courage of that being a conviction, and have the faith as you walk through these different decision points for yourself that you are always held, you are seen, you are loved in each of these moments. Many of you will begin to face challenges that feel prickly and sharp and perhaps scary or anxiety producing for you. And that can come as well when you do turn a new page in your life, because you are on uncharted territory. Have the perspective of investigating. Have the perspective of exploring. Have the perspective of discovering new. Many of you have been living under old paradigms, old structures, old ways of being, old ways of thinking, even down to the cellular structure for yourselves in what you consume, what you eat, what you drink, the activities you pursue. All of that can change in this time. All of that can contribute to you building a new version of yourself. So do not fear taking on something new. Do not fear investigating something that piques your interest. For it is in that interest that there is resonance, and it is in that resonance that there is a greater frequency, and it is in that greater frequency where you then access more love, more abundance, more opportunity, more you. So this is a month of deep examination, and this is a month of deep celebration, for we would love to also ask you to celebrate those versions of you, even though we say you have lived under old structures which no longer serve you, old paradigms which no longer fit. Celebrate the progress that you have made in your lifetime. I once was this, and now I am here. I identified myself in this way, in this limited box, perhaps, with this small label. And although I do not know all of the details of who I am becoming, I feel the potential. I tune in to the possibility. Celebrate that for yourselves. Have conviction for the beautiful, radiant beings you have been, are, and will be. We thank you for your time and your devotion and your care and the sacred way in which you walk through this world. Be blessed, dear ones. Okay, so one of the things that came to mind for me that I don't think I mentioned before, when we have the eclipse coming up, I think on October 2nd, so right at the start of the month, eclipses are frequently pivots. So that is what some of this energy is. It's almost like our attention is being pulled into the new, into the possible, and not necessarily in a high vibe, high five, yeah, we got this kind of a way, in a very realistic, oh, there's going to be work to do kind of way. But that is the nature of conviction, having that depth, that root. I was having a conversation the other day with someone that often in spiritual spaces, when we are talking about ascension or the fifth dimension or higher frequencies, we think of it all being so elevated and accelerated and high vibe. We even say that a lot. I'm vibing high. Really, the work of it, the true work of it, is in rising rooted and keeping our center, keeping our balance, keeping our sense of self as we are bringing in these new frequencies, as we are bringing in this new energy for ourselves and for our planet at this time. We need to have the right container, the right vessel, the right place for these beautiful seeds of growth to be planted. So to do that, we have to have that awareness, and we have to have that introspection, and not in a protracted, oh, poor me, gosh, let me rehash every bad decision I've ever made kind of thing, because there's no progress in that. But in the sharp awareness of that's not me anymore, this is me, I'm going to move toward that, and having the courage to follow those convictions for yourself. So if we look at the art that came through for the month, and if you're new here and this is the first time you're hearing this kind of message, I channel this art from my team of guides who are beings in the spirit, non-physical, galactic frequencies. It's a bit of a mix of a big audience. Depends who needs to come through for any particular message. But when we look at the art for October, it's very, it looks very aspirational, inspirational. It's got this beautiful sun and this prismatic kind of aspect to it. Maybe you can see angel wings at the top there coming forward, and a couple of beautiful bubbles behind this square. But what I find interesting is the team talked a lot about, stepping out of one box, changing boxes. This is how I define myself. Now it's a little different, or I no longer need to be put or fit into this kind of box. And I think we're seeing that at the individual level and also at the collective level with a lot of our systems and institutions. This is truly how we saw things, and we're being more expanded. And the thought that just came to me is, as we're moving through this expansion, this shift into different dimensions, even saying box sounds very third dimensional if you think of, a square. And we're able to see things now geometrically from these different awarenesses, these different perspectives, this different prism of awareness. So there's a lot of activity going on inside this box, and I think that speaks to the kind of inner churning of, am I authentic with this belief? Where did this belief come from? Did I put it there? Is it still something that resonates with me? Doing that inner work, and then having it almost serve as, I think I said it or the team said it, I don't remember, the North Star. Having it serve as your point of direction. This is me. These are my convictions. So that's the art. I just also want to touch on the word conviction in that when we're looking at Libra, we're in the month of Libra. The solar eclipse is in Libra. Libra often has to do with law, the scales of justice. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some things in a legal law conviction sense as well, just globally in a broader sense. And maybe you have some of that going on in your own lives too. Maybe there are some contract issues, some paperwork, things like that. So just keep that in your awareness as well as you're going through the month. And with the same perspective of, does this feel like me? Maybe you've been working out a contract with somebody and it no longer feels like it fits you. So honoring that within yourself that is speaking that to you or calling that to your attention and resolving it in a way that feels more authentic. So that's all I have for the month of October. Let me know how things are looking out in the world for you, how things are shaping up, how you found this message, how you like the art. And that's it. I will see you again here on the channel very soon. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.